Welcome to On the Prowl. I'm your host, Sage Blackledge. Today we're going to talk with Destrehan Wildcats coach Stephen Robichaux about his team's game against John Ehret. We'll also take a look ahead to the team's matchup with the Hahnville Tigers on Friday. On the Prowl starts right now. Welcome back to On the Prowl. I'm here with Destrehan Wildcats coach Stephen Robichaux. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Sage, how are you?
Good. Coach, good to see you. With that 44-25 final score, how did you feel about Friday night's game against John Ehret?
We were really excited about the game Friday night, knowing that Ehret had a really good football team. They've beaten the good teams in the past. They went up to West Monroe and played them real close. So to be able to beat a good football team like Ehret that's going to win a lot of games the rest of the season is big for us. We knew what we had to do to go in and kind of, get them into the second half and kind of hopefully our condition will wear down on them a little bit. But, our kids stayed in there. We had a little adversity early, but kids hung in there and they kept going after it, and we ended up getting a big win for us.
Okay, now let's take a look at the first half highlights.
They were defensively trying to make a play. They have a really good football team. They did a tremendous job. Their line is as big as we're going to face. They do a tremendous job blocking with real good athletes. Their quarterback's going to be a prospect. Yeah, Dontrell Smith with a nice play right now. It wasn't an interception. He ended up making a touchdown. It was just a great play. Dontrell had a great position. He just reached over and made a good play. They were so explosive on offense. Seemed like here we get the ball on the ground, but they end up picking it up and making a first down with it. Running the option over here. Yeah, and they moved the guy. 6 was a commit, Colorado State commit as a receiver. They moved him to running back, and he does a good job getting some positive yards. We just got to keep working, and they have great athletes. They're going to make plays. We just told our kids keep working, and they did that, so it was good. They kind of had us on the ropes here a little bit, 13-0, and a lot of has to say about our kids. They kept working hard and got the lead back, and ended up being positive.
Yeah, the boys here show some real persistence because they just keep trying to stop him.
Yeah, they kind of try to fool us on a halfback pass, and we ended up making a good play and getting him down. Ended up getting a fumble right there, so they didn't score. This is what we needed from John Emery.
This is a great run.
Yeah, he's special, and he comes up with a big run when we really needed one because it was down 13-0, and kind of changed the momentum a little bit. And we'll go on to score here because of his big run.
Oh, I think right here is going to be a big throw.
Yep. There sees John, and John makes a great catch, and all of a sudden it's 13-7, so we have a little life, and kids come through and making plays on defense and get the ball back. Making Clark with a huge hit right here, kind of sets the tone a little bit. We get the ball back.
And I think this is John Emery's final run in the end zone.
Yep. John does a great job right getting in the end zone and taking the lead 14-13 at half. So it was really big for us at that time.
Okay, so Coach, you had to be a bit worried after that first quarter when the Wildcats fell behind 13-0, but your defense helped your team make a major comeback. How did your defense buckle down after struggling early?
We knew that we were going to get their best shot early. They're a team that plays on emotion. They have, like I said before, they have athletes that are tremendous all over the field. And we just kind of had to settle down and make them earn what they were getting. And as you saw in the pass earlier against Dontrell, it was just a perfect pass and a perfect catch, and Dontrell was in a great position. So that's going to happen when you play good teams. And we just asked our guys, hey, just keep on going, keep fighting, keep doing the things that you're taught, and and it came through. It showed a lot about our character, the way we went down 13-0, especially after the week lost to St. Charles the week before. Our kids didn't get down, they didn't get frustrated, they just kept playing, and we ended up taking the lead right there at halftime and then kind of finished up in the second half.
That's good. On the second drive specifically, though, you guys just didn't seem to go anywhere. What did you tell your players to get them back into that winning mindset?
Well, the thing you got to do is, you're not going to score on every possession. You're not going to, you're not going to stop them on every possession. You just got to keep figuring out what we need to do. Let the game play out. Let's see what they're trying to do to us. Let our coaches make different moves that they need to make for the team to be successful. And our coaching staff did that. They found out what we could do to be successful, and kids did a good job executing. And we ended up going up 14-13.5.
Yeah, and at the end there, with only 22 seconds remaining in the half, John Emery took the lead back for the Wildcats by running for that 9-yard score. How do you feel about Destrehan's star running back's performance this game?
Well, John's a really good player. He's one of the top recruits in the state. But when John's doing well, that means our offensive line's doing well also. And the guys that don't get a whole lot of credit up front, they're doing a great job. And that was true on Friday night. So, our offensive line was outmanned, probably about 50 pounds per guy. But they kept fighting, kept digging in there, and kept allowing John to get free. And John only needs a crease, and he can really take it. So we're really excited about that whole situation. That if John's running well, that means the offensive line's doing a good job. So that's the perfect scenario.
Well, thanks, Coach. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the second half highlights.
Hi, thanks for joining us for the annual Pink Link Breast Cancer Awareness Fight. I'm Lexi Babin. I'm here today with oncologist Tania Jenkins. It's great to have you here today, Dr. Jenkins.
It's great to be here.
So, Dr. Jenkins, can you tell us what this fight's all about?
Yes, this fight is to raise money for breast cancer awareness and save lives around the world. Each year, it is estimated that over 246,660 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and more than 40,000 will die. Although breast cancer in men is rare, an estimated 2,600 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and approximately 440 will die each year.
But we have the capability to change that. You can buy a Pink Link for only $1. This will be donated to the American Cancer Society for breast cancer research. In the past 7 years, Pink Links have raised over $50,000 and counting.
It is up to us to be the change and fight for the pink. Buy a link.
Now that we know the why and the how, let's take a look at the who.
Standing at a height of 5 foot 8 inches, here we have it, Floyd Money Mayweather. He holds a record of 49 fights with 49 wins and 27 by knockout. He actually came out of retirement just for this fight, so I'm excited to see what he brings to the ring tonight. Standing at a height of 5 feet 9 inches, here we have the notorious Conor McGregor. He is the first and only UFC fighter to hold the title in 2 weight classes simultaneously. Although he has several UFC victories under his belt, tonight is his first boxing match, so I'm very excited to see what he's going to bring to the ring as well.
Looks like it's time for the main event. Let's go down to the ring.
Have it, folks. The 2017 Pink Link champion is Floyd Mayweather. Let's take a look what the fighters have to say.
Although I didn't win the fight, tonight was definitely still a victory. Let's not forget the reason we are all here tonight, to support breast cancer awareness and victims around the world. It is estimated that every 13 minutes a woman dies of breast cancer, at least 110 women a day.
But together with the help of Pink Links, we have the ability to greatly decrease that number and put an end to breast cancer. Thank Pink, buy a link.
Welcome back. I'm still here with the Fighting Wildcats coach, Stephen Robichaud. Let's take a look at the second half highlights.
Well, we tell our kids, as we do the first 3 minutes is the second half is the most important, and we need to get a stop defensively. And our kids came out and they did a great job.
Yeah, that was a great block there.
Yeah, it's Trent Smith doing a great job on one of their big receivers. Here we are, guys working hard. Noah Tallianches in the middle with Jabril Fields. Guys making big plays in the middle to stop their forward run. Another great play right here by Jalen Smothers. Forces a kick right here. Even the head coach gets a little excited right there. So we get the ball back, force a punt, and then we come up. JR finds Carson Ryder. Carson's been the converted quarterback. Now plays tight end sniffer for us. It's a play that Coach Boyne saw early and just ran it here and ended up getting a big touchdown for us. JR does a great job pulling it down right here. And
oh yeah, he does some real good dodges here to get through.
Yeah, gets through and gets a big first down for us. Keeps the drive going, 3rd and 8. Great play right here.
Right, didn't that prevent you guys from getting a huge loss of yards?
That's right. Denzel came up here, does a tremendous job. Trent Smith does a good job blocking his ball and stops for a touchdown. And this is just what John Emery does real well. He just
charges through.
Just runs real hard and he ends up getting in the end zone. He's got a great combination of strength and speed, and he does a tremendous job. Don't quite get the interception right here. Dontrell Smith makes a great play here on the football. So we just don't quite get it.
Coach, this victory must have felt great, especially after the major loss you experienced with your previous game against St. Charles Catholic last week, as you mentioned earlier. Your team, especially your seniors, aren't used to losing in the regular season. What did you tell them this week to help them recover from that?
Well, each year is different. Each team's different. We lost to a very good St. Charles football team. We didn't play well, but still in all, give them all the credit. They beat us. So, we just told them we're just going to keep doing what we normally do. We're going to keep working extremely hard. That's one thing about this group of kids. They constantly work. They do everything we ask. They take it the extra mile. They do everything to be successful. And sometimes it doesn't work out for you. But I know that we have a special group here. These guys are tremendous, not only players, but great kids. And they're doing the right things. And they just keep working. And the bar is set high, and they always reach those expectations. So if we can continue, just keep plugging on, doing what we need to do, and hopefully get better every week, which is our goal, and then hopefully we can win a few games this year.
Probably you win a few more.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In the first minute of the fourth quarter, Philip Stratton added a 23-yard field goal for the Wildcats. What do you have to say about this kicker in particular? We're
so excited about Philip. He's a big, tall kid, about 6'2". We got him off the soccer team and really never kicked the football before. And I tell you what, we got him to come out in the spring, and he really enjoys it. We hired Ryan Rome, who's the next kicker who kicked for Tulane and at McNeese State, so he's coaching him. And he went from kicking the ball down to the 10 to now he's getting in the end zone. I mean, we saw it early last spring that he's got a big time leg, and if he keeps working hard, he could probably kick in college. He's got that type of leg.
That's great for you guys.
That's right. That's right.
Your offense put 44 points up on the board this week. With the defense clicking in the second half too, that makes your team really hard to beat, huh?
Well, I hope so. I thought we played pretty well other than the first quarter. But, if you can continue to score the way we did Friday night and play good defense, you're going to be successful. So, we got a big task this week, and hopefully this win will carry over to next week.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we will take a look ahead to the Wildcats matchup Friday against the Hahnville Tigers.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of men and women's lives are affected by breast cancer. Some of them feel as if they're frozen in time and unable to escape. Our Pink Link movement helps generate a little bit of hope for some of these families that feel stuck. So make sure that you think pink, buy a link, and help unfreeze these families' lives.
Welcome back, Coach. Now let's look ahead to your matchup Friday against the Hahnville Tigers. Are you feeling confident in your team considering that Hahnville had a brutal 21-6 defeat in their last game against Brother Martin, while Destrehan had a major win against the same team?
Well, you know, obviously when you look at it, I kind of compare it to what happened to us. You know, we didn't play well against St. Charles and lost. I think they didn't play well against Brother Martin and ended up losing. But if you look at what both teams did to John Ehret, both teams had a lot of success. So, you know, I know what to expect from Hahnville. Puka Williams is a special back. Their quarterback's really good. They got great receivers. Their offensive line's huge with a Mississippi State commitment, Larry Dixon. So they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of explosive offense. And you throw it's rivalry week, so you throw all that out the window and see what team shows up on Friday night.
All right. The Wildcats have defeated the Tigers 5 years in a row now, though. So what has helped your team keep the upper hand?
Well, I just think, you know, we've just been fortunate to have good players coming through right now. You know, I've been around long enough to know that this thing kind of goes in cycles, and, you know, we'll win a few years.
Welcome to On the Prowl. I'm your host, Casey Joseph. We're going to talk with Hahnville Tigers coach Salter Formaggio about his team's game last week against Brother Martin. We'll also take a look ahead to the team's matchup on Friday against Destrehan. On the Prowl starts right now. Welcome back to On the Prowl. I'm here with Hahnville Tigers coach Salt. How you doing, Coach Salt?
Hey, Casey, good to see you.
Good to see you. How did you feel about Friday night's game against Brother Martin?
I didn't feel very good, sweetie. That's the first time since I've been the coach at Hahnville that we did not play very well at all. We didn't compete, you know, and really it's the first time, with all due respect to Brother Martin, that we lost to a football team that we had more talent than. I mean, it was just, it's hard to explain. No one saw it coming. I don't think anybody in our building saw it coming. But it was just really a very, very poor performance by all. And it's still kind of haunting me a little bit, to tell you the truth, 5 days after the fact. So it was a rough night.
Now let's take a look at the first half highlights.
We get caught from behind, but we get the ball to Anthony. We're able to get out, pick up a first down. We're getting a little momentum going. Right there, we have a nice run by a sophomore, and we just started using some sub packages.
This is the second week in a row that you've played two of your top O-linemen on defense. Do you think this helped limit the Crusaders to only one touchdown in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing pretty good defense, Casey, the whole year. We've been spotty with it, but over the last 3 years, compared to this year, it's a great improvement. I just think we're not very big, so Torrin and Larry give us an opportunity to get some big bodies out on the field. So it's something we'll continue to do in short yardage situations.
As we saw in the highlights, Brother Martin did a good job of slowing down your high-powered running game. What do you think made them so effective?
Well, two things, really. We could never establish the quarterback run. Our quarterback run game disappeared completely, so that allowed them to focus on Anthony. And the second part of that was they did a great job kind of building a fence behind Anthony. Anthony's very good. His vision is exceptional, and they didn't allow him to get any cutback holes. So when those cutback holes didn't open up, Anthony didn't have an opportunity to get those big chunk plays like we used to seeing him get. So part of it was our problem. We didn't block the run game very well. Our quarterback run game disappeared completely. And the second was just hats off to Brother Martin for doing a great job defending the chunk plays.
The score was 7-0 at halftime. Even though your offense had struggled to that point, you were only down by 7. What words of encouragement did you give to your team?
I'm going to tell you, it was more, I really think, Casey, that we were just in shock, all of us, and I should have done a better job at halftime, to be honest with you. I mean, we were in a defensive meeting most of the time because, I tend to kind of specialize with the defensive guys. And we were feeling like we weren't going to get a very productive offensive night just the way things were going. So we wanted to make sure we were locked down defensively. And I just think offensively we just never got in a rhythm. We could never get anything going. And even some of the adjustments at halftime, you could tell in the offensive room at halftime that those guys were wide-eyed and really almost like it was a dream. They were just dreaming this was happening, and we couldn't get anything established. So we made some adjustments. I thought we made some great adjustments, but we just never responded. Emotionally, we never responded at all.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the second half highlights.
Hey, it's Talia Ward. That's right. Don't adjust your whatever device you're listening to this on. It's me, live and in stereo. No return engagements, no encore, and this time, absolutely no requests. Get a snack, settle in, because I'm about to tell you the story of breast cancer. Breast cancer, welcome to your tape.
Reason 1. Every 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
Reason number 2, breast cancer is the most common cancer worldwide.
Reason number 3, every 13 minutes, 1 woman in the U.S. will lose her life to breast cancer.
Reason number 4, all women are at risk.
Reason 5, less than 50% of women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer also have a family member who has it.
Reason 6, contributing to breast cancer research increases the chance of finding a cure.
Reason number 7, breast cancer is the second leading cause of death.
Reason 8, women who develop breast cancer before the age of 40 are more likely to have a recurrence of breast cancer.
Reason 9, there's a 22% survival rate at stage 4 of breast cancer.
Reason number 10, pink links only cost $1.
Reason 11, you can buy one at all 3 lunches.
Reason number 12, we need to beat the amount from last year.
Reason 13, save a life.
I'm sorry, but her fight to breast cancer
Welcome back. I'm still here with Coach Salt. Now let's take a look at the second half highlights.
This was a part, Casey, I thought we were going to get back in the game. They kicked it deep to Anthony, and we did a nice job at the point of attack. Anthony breaks a tackle, and really, if that guy wouldn't have got his hands on him, he'd have scored. And then, again, like I said, they did a nice job defending the cutback. And I really felt after that kickoff return that we would get a little emotional. We would get some momentum. But we get a personal foul after the tackle. So we're playing first down right in there about the 10-yard line. And we still don't manage to score. We wound up kicking a 33-yard field goal. Thomas Roscoe does a nice job on the field goal. So now it's a 7-3 football game. And I felt really, really good about where we were. But then, we have our typical breakdown in our kickoff coverage game, which is amazing to me because we worked so hard. And we had made some adjustments during the week to get better at it. But here, Hunter LeBlanc, Khalil Mason run by the return guy and off and running. And then Dalton again makes a nice tackle on the kickoff return. But, we work really, really hard on that. Fortunately, we had a penalty that brought it back. But just the return itself after last week took some steam out of us. We get a nice cutback run. Our brother Martin gets a nice cutback run against us. You could see, in the end zone cut, we're not fitting very good. But Dylan Dejan, who's been having a great year for us, came up and makes a nice tackle. And, we kind of slow him down a little bit. We're trying to gain some momentum back in the game. And I think we get a nice third down stop right here, and we force a punt. So things were kind of working our way early in the third quarter. But again, you could see, you know, we're very, very listless out on the field. And football is a game of emotion. Sports in general is a game of emotion. And we were just not very, very emotionally attached to the game at all. It was almost like I thought our guys thought we just put our helmets on and we were going to win the game. So we make another critical error. We get a holding call, puts us behind the chains, and you know, we throw yet another interception. So you know, our passing game it's been a problem for us the entire year. So here we get some momentum back, and we give it right back to them on a turnover, and then we blow a coverage. You know, Hunter LeBlanc blows a coverage and then gives those guys a nice play on an RPO. And again, just our focus, things that we didn't ordinarily do, we were doing in this game. You know, they get a gash run against us. We're just not doing a very good job with our fits at linebacker. And you know, those chunk plays all of a sudden now take the emotion out of the game. You know, but still, it's a 4-point game. Khalil comes up, makes a nice play on a deep dig route, and you know, forces them to punt. We don't field the punt, so the punt rolls deep into our territory. And again, you could just see they just did such a good job, you know, bottling Anthony up the entire night. We get a long field, we punt back to them. Again, we blow the coverage a second time. That might be the same play, but we blew that coverage a few times on Friday night. You know, Brother Martin scores and goes up. And now we're chasing numbers. You know, now it's a 2-score game. We're back. We get a nice sack on a play there. We get the ball back, and I think we try to make a run. We get Anthony on a corner. We kind of missed the read on that, but Anthony makes a great play, hurdling over a defender. Picks us up a first down, and you know, there's 11 minutes to go in the game. We're down 11. Again, we get the ball down in their territory, and we're just not running. You could see, other than Anthony, we're just not running very hard. We're not lowering our head and trying to, you know, get those extra yards. We wound up kicking a long field goal, and now again it's a 1-score game with about 7 minutes, you know, about 7:50 to go in the game, and this is where things kind of get a little crazy with the kicking game. We kick one out of bounds. We have to come back and re-kick it again. We wound up kicking a second one out of bounds. And then Brother Martin takes off on, again, just nice long runs. We were really, really bad at linebacker Friday night, you know, defending the second level. And now Brother Martin gets up 21-6. And, you know, we really struggle doing things that we ordinarily do right in this football game. And that was a perfect example. Noah Zarang runs by a ball he should have fair caught, and Anthony's got to come all the way up from a deep position to make the catch. And again, you can see a bunch of our linemen just walking around, you know, not a lot of aggression, watching their Anthony get beat up a little bit. You know, and those are the kind of things that you knew. I'm watching it happen Friday night. We were just not emotionally prepared to play the game.
All right, Coach, in the second half, we saw you switch Puka Williams to quarterback for a little while. What made you influence this decision?
Well, you know, Jaquan's still a young guy at quarterback, and we didn't want to lose him completely. The year's still young, relatively speaking. You know, we're going into a big game this week, obviously, with Destrehan, and you know, I felt like at that time we weren't doing anything good offensively at all. And so just get him out of the game. Sometimes you get out, you see what's going on, and you can kind of mentally go through what you should have been doing. And it just kind of prepares you to get well, so to speak, for the future. And that was really the decision behind it.
Okay. The Tigers are really known for their skilled offense, but this game, only 2 field goals were scored. Can you explain why?
Yeah, I tell you, Casey, it was just, you know, we weren't very aggressive at all offensively. And not necessarily, I'm not talking about play calling, I'm talking about playing. The players just weren't very aggressive. We didn't get out and block people like we were used to blocking them. We weren't running with our, you know, our nose up, just kind of running through people. And You know, the only thing I can explain to that is, you know, we're still dealing with young people. You know, you don't know with teenagers today what's going through their minds. And we felt all week like we were preparing them. And I told them a couple of times the history of Brother Martin High School. And I've been around high school football one way or another since way before most everybody was born on that football team. You know, my first experience with high school football goes back to 1972. And Brother Martin had never, that I know of, had ever started a year 0-3. And I kept telling our guys that this is a school that has a tremendous football tradition. They have had great players. They've won a state championship. They've been in another state championship game. And those guys understand the history of their program. So they were going to come in and they were going to play their absolute best game against us. And that's exactly what happened. Brother Martin came in and played their absolute best game, and we played as bad as we've played since I've been the head coach. And you know, when those two things collide, it's not going to end up good for the home team, and it didn't end up good for us.
With Jaquan Jackson throwing 3 interceptions, what will he be working on to prepare for a better performance this week against Destrehan?
He just has to go back and do what he does well, which is run the football and be an athlete. You know, our passing game, we work it every day. As a matter of fact, we contributed 3 20-minute segments of practice last week to team pass and just trying to get better throwing the ball. You know, we knew going into the season that, you know, we were going to have an inexperienced quarterback. And, you know, hopefully as we continue to go through the year, Jaquan continues to progress as a quarterback and rely a little bit more on his knowledge of the game of football as it gets better and reading routes, reading coverages. You know, right now I think what's happening is we're just looking for Anthony. The 2 interceptions were balls that he threw down to Anthony when he was covered, and the third one was to Jamel. So if he just doesn't force the throws, you know, just kind of let the game play itself out, he'll be much more comfortable throwing the ball.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll take a look ahead at next week's matchup against Destrehan High School.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Pink Link competition sanctioned by St. Charles Parish. 1 in 8 women will be affected in their lifetime. More than 200,000 cases in America each year. In the U.S., breast cancer death rates are higher than those for any other cancer besides lung cancer. Help us fight this cause and buy a Pink Link. May God be with you all.
Attention, we are now under a hard lockdown. I repeat, a hard lockdown.